Not being agreed with me, I'm not being agreed with you.
Because what it will do, what it will please retire to your seat as I'm trying to answer the question. Because remember,
MAGA Mike Lawler, you know, the Republican representative from the great state of New York. Well, he faced a similar fate, in spirit at least, to the famous town hall meltdown that we just watched. Happened earlier this morning on MSNBC. As you're about to see, Lawler gets less booed, more burned by the Morning Joe crew. Measured logic and irrefutable truth have become kryptonite for the GOP, especially when they call facts talking points. Now, wait till you see Claire McCaskill scald MAGA Mike Lawler by exposing his MAGA flawed defense and the policies that he championed. It's our featured clip. Now, before we show you that showdown with Claire McCaskill, let's check out his earlier flailing response in the interview regarding budget cuts that can hurt and will hurt his constituents. In fact, let's let those constituents, in their own words, intro our first clip.
It's already signed the continuing resolution that says cut 880 billion, right? What's the number? They're going to cut from Medicaid or Medicare, but he claims that he didn't sign it. I mean, what's going on with that?
These are common sense reforms. I have no problem defending it and articulating it.
Well, respectfully, Mike, the Congressional Budget Office, which obviously is part of the institution where you serve, says that there's going to be about $900 billion to $1 trillion in Medicaid cuts. If you look at the hospitals in your own district, Montefiore Nyack Hospital is already saying, because of that vote, because of these cuts, they're going to have to cut back services. They're going to have to cut staff. They're going to have to cut care. Same thing with Westchester Hospital. Hospitals across your district are going to have to cut services and care and staff members and budgets because of your vote and because of this bill that passes. That's what they're saying. It's not some left-wing focus group or some. Well, I'm just telling you what they've said, so
what they're parroting is the same talking points being put out by the state and by the hospital association.
You know their business better than you know their business better than they know their business. Congressman, you can keep talking if you want to,
Joe.
but are you saying that they know, you know their business, you know doctors' business, you know hospital administrators' business better than they know their own business? Is that what you're telling us here?
No, Joe. If you'd stop putting words in my mouth and let me answer the question. Number one,
you said they were parroting. You said that actually they were having the words put into their mouth. You said they were parroting other people's words.
And it only gets better, as you're about to see, as Joe is appointed special guest referee for our next clip. Former Senator Claire McCaskill tangles with MAGA Mike over the very real situations his constituents are facing. That's something he calls hypothetical. And again, with the lame talking points defense. Well, this is our featured story, our featured clip today. MAGA Mike Lawler woke up this morning only to roll over and see this.
Let's assume that person, because they had to sit on a phone for 2 hours trying to prove every 6 months they're working, and they couldn't get through, or because the paperwork requirements are so onerous, which we saw happen in Kentucky and other places where they installed work requirements. Let's assume that person works a minimum wage job 50 hours a week, and they haven't been able, because of the bureaucracy, to verify their work, or if there's someone who is waiting for an immigration hearing. When they go into that hospital with a dire trauma, the hospital has to treat them. Who's paying for that with these cuts?
So again, one, you're making a lot of hypotheticals, but two, you're also assuming that people are. You're also assuming. No. Respectfully, Claire, you're also making. Yeah, I know. You're making hypothetical assumptions. Number one. Number two, you're assuming people are too incapable of managing the system. The fact is, New York is going to administer the work requirements that will be enacted, which go into effect in 2027. We're talking about able-bodied adults without dependent children.
Okay.
We're not talking
So
about
what if
people.
somebody
We're not
doesn't do
talking
it?
about
What if some-
people.
I'm not
We're not
asking about
talking
that,
about
Mike.
people who.
I'm not asking
well,
about
great,
that.
Claire, but I'm going to
asking-
answer the question.
I'm
So you can
asking-
sit here and
no,
argue with me all you want.
Who pays for it?
But the fact
who
is,
pays for
yeah.
it? Who pays for
The
it?
state
now.
of the
Alex,
state
come to me
of-
right now. Come to me right now. Come to me right now. We don't do this. Claire's going to ask a question. Mike, you'll have time to respond to the question. All right? But none of the crosstalk. Claire, ask your question, and then Congressman, respond. Claire, go.
When an uninsured person, when a person who no longer has Medicaid shows up at an ER with a dire trauma, the hospital has to treat them. They have to go into their reserves to treat them. They then pass those costs on to the insurance companies that they charge for services. They pass those costs on to other places in the system. They have to. And when they do that, Mike, that means people's insurance rates go up, because they're having to pay more for their health care because the hospital is required to treat people who show up with dire trauma. That's where these painful cuts are going to be felt.
So while it's almost back to school time all across the country, it was sure good to see MAGA Mike Lawler get his knuckles whacked by Ms. McCaskill. And, you know, you don't want to be in Ms. McCaskill's class when you're this unpopular in the schoolyard. Well, because you fell in with the wrong crowd.
Do your job! Do your job! Not $1! No more cuts from Mike Lawler!